Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're ripping away the cute, peaceful Nordic aesthetic of Spirit of the North to uncover something much, much deeper. Forget that silent, snowy tale you think you're playing. We are here to expose the harsh, fascinating reality of a deeply buried myth, the northern mask of Fox Asena. We're going to look at this world exactly as it was written, without the sugarcoating.
Here is our uncompromising roadmap for today. 1. Nordic mask and steppe myth. 2. Cursed inscriptions and lost order. 3. Blue coot against red curse. 4. The Kaham and Alp merge. 5. Realigning the ancient writing. And finally, 6. Coot written into the sky. Let's dive straight into the code of this narrative.
Section 1. Nordic mask and steppe myth. Let's get right into the dichotomy between what the developers claim on the surface and the brutal truth hidden beneath the snow.
So, the official line sells you on the Finnish Tulikettu, right? The firefox whose tail creates the aurora. But the deep truth here is actually the Turkish fox, Asena, the strict Gökturk origin myth. In mythic memory, the wolf is the ultimate sign of the steppe. Here, the she-wolf Asena casts into a fox body to sustain her lineage. And why a fox? Because the fox relies on cunning rather than brute force to survive and execute these absolutely essential functions of origin, deliverance, and ascent.
To really grasp what's happening in this world, we have to recognize two distinct figures. The female spirit fox that you see walking in the sky, that is the Calm, the spiritual guide. Meanwhile, the red fox down on the ground isn't just some cute protagonist. It's a heavy, limping, wounded body known as the Alp. The Calm is up there showing the way in the air, while the wounded Alp is struggling to survive down on the earth.
The fundamental rule we're dealing with here is this. The North becomes the mask of the steppe. Think about it. The snow isn't just weather, it's literally frozen time. When the fox gets dragged downward into the cave, it mirrors the ancient myth of Ergenekon, a legendary valley of refuge, contraction, and eventual reemergence. The fox is absolutely not ruling this landscape, it's completely subjected to it.
Which brings us to Section 2. Cursed inscriptions and lost order. Moving downward from the ice, the fox encounters the cool geometry of subterranean fire and a very diseased memory.
Now this is an absolutely crucial point. The game's aesthetic lazily presents what look like Scandinavian runestones. But don't be fooled by that surface level. A strict reading reveals these as cursed Orkhon inscriptions. These monuments from the 8th century Turkic Kaganates aren't just decorative standing stones thrown in for flavor. In this world, they are the actual operating system of a collapsed civilization. They hold the order of the Khaganate, the council, the collapse. And when they're cursed, it means the very memory of the lineage itself has become diseased.
Notice how the fox isn't wounded by an enemy in combat or some monster. It falls poisoned by the corrupted symbolic order of the writing itself. The wound of the body and the wound of the writing open at the exact same time. The real catastrophe we're looking at here is the poisoning of a civilization's memory, which the fox just absorbs directly into its flesh. And the environment around us acts as this silent archive. The murals on the cave walls depict prostration before a single fox totem, followed by the complete disappearance of that totem, and finally, absolute mourning. It's a visual history that compresses the ancient Gökturk origin beliefs and a devastating lament for a lost leader, Alp Ertunga, into a single historical record. They aren't just crying for an animal, they are mourning an ownerless world.
Moving on to Section 3. Blue cut against red curse. What's really interesting here is the strict economy of celestial energy entering the animal's body.
This brings us to the concept of Kut, and we literally cannot paraphrase this. Kut is the fortune, power, legitimacy, and vital force granted by the sky god Göktengri. In the game, you visibly see this loading into the fox as blue energy absorbed from flowers. It is a rigid energy economy. The blue vitality of nature concentrates into the animal, and then it's loaded directly into the code of the stone writing.
And the fox uses this energy essentially as a weapon. It uses spirit bark, which is Aklish, a word blow of blessing. It directs this sound strike to dissolve the red and black plague tethers. Those tethers, they act as the binding kargush, or curse. So the fox doesn't bite, it doesn't slash, it gives voice toward the corrupted bond, bursting that magical obstruction with pure, empowered sound. There's a very deliberate taxonomy to this catastrophe, too. Black represents the rooted pathology. Red is the infected, fiery effect of the disease.
But pay close attention to the white. The white flower blooming on top of the black and red curse is absolutely not a symbol of purity. It's the beautified face of absolute catastrophe. A parasite of beauty just growing right on top of a disaster.
All right, Section 4, the come and Alp merge. This brilliantly illustrates the moment the wounded Alp begins to internalize the guidance of the come.
We need to tear away the banal, modern concept of a safe checkpoint here. To read this correctly, shamanically, we have to recognize these hanging stones and bells as the kazungu. This is the shaman mirror, holding stone, deliberately suspended between earth and sky to protect the passage. It's not some technical convenience for the player. It holds the unbroken continuity of a life-for-death ritual journey.
The body stays on the ground. The spirit advances. The spirit form ability turns the heavy, theoretical concept of soul wandering directly into a playable, mechanical, problem-solving tool. The wounded body isn't abandoned. It's left on the ground, carrying its weight, while the light spirit crosses the threshold, bypassing pressure plates and walking on water. The Alp and Cam no longer exist as two separate foxes. They become two states of the exact same entity.
Section 5, realigning the ancient writing. Let's look at the physical mechanics of repair and see exactly how this builds toward the sky.
Take the spirit dash. This perfectly translates the ancient leap wolf call into atalim, the leap of the fox. The fox literally draws a line in the air. By utilizing jump gates and geothermal geysers, it leverages the surfacing breath of earth-water forces, using volcanic pressure from underground to push its physical body upward. It's bending distance rather than fighting enemies.
The core philosophy here is fascinating. Here, writing is not read, it is aligned. The fox isn't vocalizing letters like some scholar, it uses sound to physically rotate the lock of the world, aligning the corrupted revolving matching glyphs to repair a broken operating system. Spirit bark actually becomes an instrument of mechanical adjustment.
And that brings us to our final section, Section 6, Kurt written into the sky. We finally reached the realm of ancestral spirits, where the kindred spirits wait for the ritual to close.
We witness the systematic closing of the separation. The Alp on the ground finally gains the calm's abilities, step by step. 1. Receiving cut from the blue flowers. 2. Dissolving the curse with spirit bark. 3. Soul wandering via spirit form. 4. Leaping with spirit dash. And 5. Walking in the sky. The initial separation between the ground and the air is completely, entirely erased.
Just contrast these two absolute states. The beginning, a cursed Orcon stone rotting on the frozen earth, versus the finale, the aurora borealis blazing in the sky. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the northern lights in this game are actually Kutenent, written across the immense surface of the sky. The stone monument has been carried upward. The earth and sky are finally bound together in a single massive movement. So here is the ultimate takeaway. The fox becomes the cunning and threshold-crossing body of the wolf. This finalizes the synthesis between the Finnish Tulikettu legend and the Turkish fox Asena myth. The mask is removed. The north is just the face of the steppe, and the final trail is permanently inscribed into the sky.
Which leaves us with this final thought. If the serene, silent mask of the north can completely hide the harsh, wounded reality of the steppe, what other lost origin myths are running silently right in front of us? Look past the cute surfaces, guys. Question the banal narratives, because the real myth is always operating right beneath the floorboards. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I'll see you next time.